What's up, everybody? It's your boy Poop Frogg. I'm just gonna watch To Catch a Predator, Bethpage, Long Island. And if you're interested in looking at this without me talking over it, let me grab it. Hold on. Boom! It's Saw. Look at Saw. To Catch a Predator, Bethpage, Long Island, Dangerous Web. This is the original episode of the show, and I'm just gonna watch it. And thanks for watching it with me. I'm gonna have a fun time. We're gonna talk about it, and boom! Yeah, let me start from the beginning.
And now, Dangerous Web. Here is Stone Phillips.
Good evening. Don't talk to strangers. It's a basic rule of safety every parent tells their child. But if there's a computer in your home, it's possible that your children have been talking to strangers. Tonight, we're going to show you just how dangerous it can be to let your child surf the web alone, and how quickly a stranger, maybe a sexual predator, can go from chatting with your teen in cyberspace to knocking on your front door. How easily can it happen? We found out in a Dateline hidden camera investigation. We want to warn you, some of what you're about to see and hear tonight is explicit. Here's Chris Hansen.
Damn. To put this in perspective, like for people that aren't really familiar with that, you know what I mean? This was probably released on, if I remember correctly, MSNBC, which was like a cable news channel, you know what I mean? So there was no commercials, and that's a big deal, you know, when back then, like, oh, no commercials. Ooh, they could show explicit content, you know what I mean? It was not UPN 13 or Fox 11 or whatever, you know what I mean? It was cable. And that was a new thing, kind of still, 2007. I'm not saying it was brand new, but it was still kind of a thing, like no commercials. Oh my heavens, you know. Nowadays, fools like pay for services, and I think it's a better system nowadays. But back then, you got commercials and shit, so this was a big deal, and this was cable-y. So parents, like, I would be allowed to watch this when I was a kid. My folks, like, they didn't hide shit from me, you know what I mean? They let me, like, see the news, you know, like, or like cable stuff. They let me see it when I was little, you know what I mean? But a lot of people, they don't want their kids looking at that. But I remember this show, man. Watch out. Here we go. Let's play it up some more. Also,
this
thanks for
is a
being
house
here.
on an average
Poop Frogg.
street in an
Everybody loves
average
Poop
town.
Frogg.
It could be your town, but there's something very different about this place.
The back door's unlocked.
Ain't no bullshit. That's a cool pea coat. That's a cool pea coat that he's wearing. And he looks he's like a dock worker. You know what I mean? He looks like he's like in a Dropkick Murphys video. This guy, look at him. He's got the pea coat. I'm gonna rewind it just a little. I'm sorry. If you're not familiar with me, my name's Poop Frogg. I'm gonna do this. If you want to watch the video, like I said in the beginning of the video, go to Saw. Saw has it without me talking. But look at this dock working ass Dropkick Murphys looking
About
fool.
this place.
This is Bethpage, New York. Look at him. What's up? How's it going? You know what I mean? I was working on the
major
dock all
crime
day.
against a child is possibly being committed here. A crime that happens more often than you'd ever imagine. This
That's a cool
grown
coat,
man
though. That's
is
a cool
here
coat.
after making a date for sex with a 14-year-old girl he met only hours earlier on the internet.
Just come on in, I'm finishing getting ready, okay?
Tonight, a Dateline hidden camera investigation exposes a very real threat to your children. Online sexual predators. You'll see firsthand how they find victims and seduce them. And you'll be watching as they take the next step and show up at a home where they think a minor is alone. The problem, as you'll see in our investigation, is epidemic. Just ask a group of middle school kids.
Has anyone here been approached by a stranger in a chat room?
These kids, ranging in age from 11 to 14, say it happens all the time.
It's just disgusting stuff that they send to me just to try to get me into looking at disgusting websites.
And many parents aren't as computer savvy as their children, making it tougher to protect kids from internet predators.
The combination of their social naivete and our computer naivete is a dangerous combination.
Yeah, she's right. That's exactly right. Like that time period, like, man. There's just always going to be, check it out. If you're watching this, you're like, oh, heavens, whatever. Check it out. It's always going to be like this. Like, criminals will be always one step above, like, being caught, so there's always some new alleyway. And this was just the thing at the time, it's computers. Remember back when nobody had automobiles? perverts had to like snatch fools out of fields on their horse or something, you know what I mean? But once the car came around, oh, then the cruiser, the guy cruising around in the car trying to snatch kids, you know what I mean? I'm saying it's always been a thing. The computer's new, so whatever is the newest thing, that's probably where you find all the perverts. No offense if you're into technology and all that, but I don't know. I don't know if the connection, but there seems like a lot of perverts wherever the newest thing is. Look at TikTok. You know, at first it was MySpace. There's a lot of perverts there, you know what I mean? Because it was new, nobody knew. But then all of a sudden it became like, oh, everybody knows what that is. Then it was on Facebook, there was perverts. You know what I mean? And they caught them on Facebook. And now they're kind of running to different parts of the internet, all these new sites, all these new apps. Keep them with the kids and their stuff. You know what I mean? Anyway, pay attention to your kids. Straight up. Bless. Don't like wrap them in plastic, but pay attention to them kids.
5 children online in this country has been approached by adults looking for sex, according to a study funded by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. That large number doesn't surprise former FBI profiler and leading child sex crimes expert Ken Lanning.
There seems to be a bottomless barrel of cases. You go out there, and no matter what you do, there just seems to be more and more of these individuals.
Internet predators are very good at convincing you that they're your friend.
Shelley Riling of Danbury, Connecticut, had no idea about the danger lurking online for her 13-year-old niece, Chrissy, an honor student, altar girl, and co-captain of her cheerleading team. In May 2002, Chrissy told her aunt she was going to the mall to meet a friend. Instead, she met up with a stranger she'd met online, a 24-year-old married man named Saul Dos Reis. Prosecutors charge he took her for a ride in his car.
I'm just gonna take. Oh shit! I fucked that all up.
Dos Reis was convicted.
There he is, right there. Okay, he's saying his name is Saul Dos Reis or whatever he's saying his name is. But guarantee you that fool, his name is Saul. If you look at like, it's spelled the same way, but his name is like Dos Reis or something Hispanic. You know what I mean? His name is Saul. I don't know why I felt the need to pause the video for that, but. Saul, guys. You should learn that. If you see it like with a Mexican name or a Latino name, you know what I mean? Saul. If you see Saul spelled. Actually, you hardly ever don't even see any Sauls. I don't really know that many Jewish people. I don't know if they still use the name Saul. I don't think they do. No, maybe they do, because that show's Saul Goodman. You know, that's a good show. Is that Saul? And he was a Jewish guy. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know if people still use Saul. But if you see it with like a Hispanic fucking name after it, it's Saul. Here you go. Boom.
His car sexually abused her and then strangled her. Dos Reis was convicted of first-degree manslaughter.
When I opened up the door and I saw the minister, I knew. And I looked for Chrissy and she wasn't there, and I knew they were going to tell me that she had been killed.
How do sexual predators find children like Chrissy on the internet? By going to a chat room like this one, scanning the profiles looking for a victim. Then they'll instant message that child. Very often, they'll get a message back. Usually, the chats start off friendly. Later, they'll get sexual. And finally, the predator will try to convince a child to meet in person.
Teenagers are rebellious. Teenagers are curious. Teenagers can have a strong interest in sex and all these characteristics. And so what many of these offenders are taking advantage of are these characteristics of teenagers.
Laws differ from state to state, but generally it's against the law to use the internet to entice a minor to engage in sexual activity. It's also illegal to transmit obscene matter to a person under 16.
The fact that you use something like a computer and the internet, and that technology crosses state lines, that can also make it a federal violation.
Law enforcement agencies like the FBI and U.S. Customs have made catching internet predators a high priority, but they say the problem is just too big. Enter a...
Oh man, hold on. Let's see if we can rewind that.
Law enforcement agencies like the FBI and U.S. Customs have made catching internet predators a high priority, but they
Let's
say
see that. Want to make out? LOL. Something. I don't know. Are you cute? LOL. This and that. I'm average. I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking this average is like the decoy. No, the want to make out. That's him. I don't know. Are you cute? LOL. Yeah, this is the decoy, and then they say I'm average. That's gross. I don't know who that is. Yeah, interesting. Let's go on. Let's walk with it.
The problem is just too big. Enter a group called Perverted Justice, a kind of online vigilante organization whose mission is to do what it believes law enforcement doesn't always have the resources to do. Make a full-time job of going after internet predators.
All right, let's read this. Something girl, something ill. Yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems like you're big deal. I'm gonna say that she's saying, I don't know, man. It just seems like you're making a big deal out of this. Don't worry about it. It's cool. I'm not. I just want to eat your vagina. I think that's that's exactly what he says. It's not some gross word for that, but it's just exactly that. No, I'm joking. I don't know what word this is, but he says something graphic right there. Anyway, let's rock with it. Come to my house and let me see Okay. Yeah, they're out there getting these perverts. They're all over the internet. They still are. Don't let this show fool you into thinking that they don't have new ways, because they do. And in like a few years, we're going to be like, why didn't we know that? Why didn't we know that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they're always evolving. Always.
And they do it by posing as kids online.
This is what a 13-year-old girl looks like. At Perverted Justice.
At any given moment.
He looked like the Penguin straight up from Batman 2. Does he not? Hold on. Look at him. No offense, Frag. Love you, man, for your work, but he for real looks like Danny DeVito playing the Penguin in Batman 2.
By posing as kids online.
This is what a 13-year-old girl looks like. At Perverted Justice.
This is what a guy looks like. He looks like look at the Penguin in profile. If you look at him, I'm sorry, Frag. Sorry to roast you, but you're the one that put yourself on TV, so, and you got paid a lot of money, so I don't really feel that bad. You know what I mean? You're the one that put your own footage out there. God bless you, Frag. He looks funny. Whatever, guys.
Any given moment, one of Perverted Justice's 25 volunteers, some who say they were victims themselves of sexual abuse, troll internet chat rooms, usually through AOL and Yahoo, waiting to be approached by a predator. Are these chat rooms really that creepy?
Oh, they're just loaded. I mean, you know.
Look at him. Look at him. She's like, yeah, it's shocking. It's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Look at them. These guys are cool. This is a nice little setup. This looks like your grandma's house, in my opinion. Doesn't this look kind of like how your great-grandma, your grandma's house is? Kind of like, it's like old like this, and there's a big old couch, and there's like, look, nobody ever uses this area over here. It's just all clean, and like, there's like this like expensive thing over here. Maybe they got like a little cabinet full of like figurines from QVC or something, or little porcelain fucking bullshit. You know what I'm talking about. Little weird commemorative things that they mailed away for in the Sears catalog. That's what this place looks like. And look, they're like a team. We're in the same shirt, same jeans, like a team. Good job. Good job for both of these guys. Like, I'm really, whatever we got to say about Dell later on, about her working for Twitter, whatever. You know what I mean? Back then, she was Dell. This show was cool. Same with Chris Hansen. How fools like hate on Hansen. I understand, like, he did personal things to some people. But, like, to me, Chris Hansen, like, he made this show, bro. Like, you didn't make this show. You know what I mean? Same with Frag. They helped make this show, and I respect all three of those people, straight up. And that was groundbreaking at the time, and let's never forget that. And we owe them a debt, you know what I mean? For, like, the hours of entertainment that they provided us and the insight into our own bullshit and into, like, the bullshit that's going on the internet and just, you know what I mean? God bless them. You know what I mean? God or no God if you don't believe in God, but like bless them straight up. Good for them. Anyway, here you go. Boom.
Half the times we have to close down some of the windows. There's so many guys hitting on us that'll crash our machines.
While Perverted Justice has no
when nobody else
to arrest the potential predator.
Straight up, I'll shut up. I swear I'll shut up. But when nobody else really exposing them around that time. So whatever you got to say about them and this and that, and if they're perfect or not, you know what I mean? They did a lot more to expose that bullshit than anybody else. And let's just recognize real quick, this right here, you can see my mouse, is a landline phone. Look at that. And she's got this right here. What is this, soda? Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke, or is it a Barks root beer? I think that might be a Barks root beer. Let me know in the comments if that's a Barks or is that a Diet Coke. Because at first I thought Diet Coke, but now I'm thinking Barks. But I'm going to shut up. Look at him. Boom.
As it identifies, it sometimes aids in the criminal prosecution of those men. But many in law enforcement strongly oppose any civilian group conducting sting operations. Nevertheless, Perverted Justice exposes these individuals by posting their picture, phone number, and a copy of their sexual chat on its website.
Hey, and some predators have straight up been caught twice by Perverted Justice. And I know we know, what's his name, the rat guy, you know what I mean, for showing up twice. And that's crazy. And then Kennelly for showing up twice. But there were quite a few people that are less memorable predators that have been caught a couple times by Perverted Justice. And to catch a predator, and it was in different states and everything. All their stings were in different states, you know. But straight up, it was like weird. Like they caught a few people that had also already been caught by Perverted Justice outside of the NBC stuff. Look it up. It's true. Look on Saul's channel. Look on Saul's channel, or Saul, or however you say his name. Anyway, bloom.
As a result, the men's family, neighbors, and employers are often notified by website visitors. Why is this not entrapment?
Well, it's not entrapment. First of all, we're not a legal entity. Secondly, we're sitting in a chat room. We're not starting anything. They're having a conversation with us of their own free will.
Then, Perverted Justice volunteers will often engage in sexually explicit chats, coming on to a would-be predator to see if he'll take the bait.
If you don't trust me, that's cool.
It's one thing to chat online. The danger is far greater when it becomes person to person. So how many of these internet stalkers would actually make a date and show up to have sex with a teen? In other words, commit statutory rape. We decided to find out. More than a few sexual predators believe there's a minor
That's a nice ass neighborhood. Look at that.
We're in for a big surprise. We've got our hidden cameras rolling.
That's a nice little yard. Look at that person.
Who knocks on our door?
Man, that's a cool little yard. That's cute. Look at the door. Hey, straight up, look at this. Look at the detail there. I'm gonna show you. Trimmed up nice.
Waiting alone in this house.
Look at that. Boom. Little neighborhood.
We've got our hidden cameras rolling.
Hold on, look at that. Boom, trimmed up so nice. Look at raining. No weeds up in there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no weeds right there. Look at that clean yard right there. Boom, all nice and green. Ain't no weeds growing. No dead patches. This could be, honestly, this year. I think that's cute, the way that it's kind of natural. But y'all could trim that with a weed eater. No offense. I actually like that. But if you're going to do that, you got to grow some vines all over this wall. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, boom.
So stick around and wait to see who knocks on our door.
That's like your grandma's house. Anyway. My bad.
Looks like we got another one.
To follow the trail of an internet predator prowling for children, from seduction in a chat room to a face-to-face meeting, you need three things: a realistic setting, someone proficient in the teen speak of the internet, and a way to record it all.
This is real time.
This is real time. This is happening right now.
The teen?
We rented this house.
The teen speak of the internet?
That's
wild.
Street far from any school. Our technicians rigged the house with hidden cameras inside and out.
I bet that's him.
And we enlisted the help of volunteers from Perverted Justice, who make it their mission to expose some of the estimated 50,000 predators nationwide said to be trolling the internet at any given time. Volunteers like 21-year-old Dell.
Protecting little children from people who would destroy their lives. It's just such a worthy cause.
Dell and other volunteers like 38-year-old Fragg, or using their undercover names, go online, posing as 12, 13, or 14-year-olds, using a picture that is unmistakably underage. Some volunteers pretend to be girls and some boys. Either way, they never make the first contact. Instead, they wait to be seduced.
Now, how explicit do you have to be to lure these guys in?
Well, we don't really have to lure them. They'll come to us. We go into these chat rooms. I haven't said a word to anybody. I'm sitting in the room, and the IMs start popping up, and they start coming on.
Sure enough, in a matter of minutes, the online chat becomes sexually explicit. This man, screen name Ed in NYC...
Hey, I'm just going to pause real quick, and I know that this is taking a long time, but look, man, that's why you're watching my video. Like I said, if you want to watch it without my commentary, TCaP Predator, Bethpage, Long Island, on Saul's channel, Saul's channel. Or moving it around, the bullshit. But look, just check out Saul's channel, SAUL on YouTube. If you don't want to hear me talking over it, boom. But anyway, and I got that permission. That fool said that it's cool that that I say his name on my channel, because like I always say like, oh, I'm checking out Saul, but I don't know if he wants to be associated. But he said it was cool. But anyway, look at this stuff, man. Look at this stuff. This is crazy.
He's talking to a 13-year-old. Says, "You feeling horny right now?"
Oh, that's what I was saying. Look, for anybody that like doubts, like, oh man, did they entrap them or whatever, I encourage you, because they still keep it to this day. Look at Perverted Justice, the website, these people's chat logs, and you'll see that it's 100% these guys. None of it's even really, to me, I've never even seen one that was questionable. They've encouraged it, and they talk along, and they go along, but they never bring it up. It's never... I mean, I'm telling you, these guys are all creeps. Don't feel sorry for nobody on that show. Anyway, here you go.
Another Me for Magic NY.
I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna be quiet.
The girl says, yeah. And then this 33-year-old proceeds to turn on his webcam, expose himself, then masturbate in front of a girl he believes is 13. Right then and there, this man may have committed a federal crime by using the internet to transmit obscene matter to a person he believed to be underage. Other predators send pictures of themselves, then give their phone number, hoping for a call.
Hey, is this John? Hey, it's Mandy.
Dell, now posing as a 13-year-old girl, does exactly that. She tells the predator her parents aren't home, and that it'd be okay for him to come to her house.
I was just making sure you were for real because I wanted to know you really wanted this.
There would be dozens of sexually graphic online chats intended for children. Chats so disgusting we can't even begin to show you. There would also be picture exchanges and phone calls. But how many of these men would be willing to make a date and then be bold enough to walk in the door? We didn't have to wait long to find out, and we caught it all on our hidden cameras. Meet 35-year-old Steve, known on the internet as SR8219. He's a married man with children.
Just come on in and sit at the counter. I gotta finish getting dressed.
Dell, posing as a 14-year-old, invites him in. And even though there really isn't a 14-year-old in the house, this man still may be committing a crime, according to sex crimes expert Ken Lanning.
The federal law makes it pretty clear there doesn't have to be an actual child there.
And as far as Steve is concerned, there's a real 14-year-old in this house.
Just sit at the counter. I'll be right down, okay?
As for why...
You notice, guys, right there, what you're hearing is you're hearing Dell as the original decoy and doing her girl voice. And Dell's known for, in the later things, being like the boy. You know what I mean? Because it's believable, an adult woman... like an adolescent boy, yeah, kind of similar, you know what I mean? Kind of similar to the way that their deepness and everything like that, right? But Dell originally did a bunch of, she was the original girl decoy, and Dell did a good job, and you know what I mean? This is not about ripping on Dell, bless her heart.
He's here. After we read you part of his online chat, it will be pretty clear.
You on the pill?
No, you wear condoms?
If you want me to, but I'm sterile.
Okay, then you don't have to wear a condom.
Can somebody here confirm real quick? I'm going to rewind it a little. But can somebody confirm that that's actually Dell reading on the episode? Because I think that is. I believe that's true. I'm going to go ahead and say that's true. Okay, all the female decoy work, but I believe in my head, I feel like somebody has told me that before, that was like a responsible source that said that Dell read for the original episode. But please, somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Please, please, please. I can't promise I'll amend the video, but I'll highlight your comment. Please just let me know if I'm wrong there. I don't want to be wrong. But here you go. Boom. Let's hear it again, and just try to imagine that that's Dell.
The federal law makes it pretty clear there doesn't have to be an actual child there.
And as far as Steve is concerned, there's a real 14-year-old in this house.
Just sit at the counter. I'll be right down, okay?
As for why he's here, after we read you part of his online chat, it will be pretty clear.
You on the pill?
No, you wear condoms?
If you want me to, but I'm sterile.
Okay, then you don't have to wear a condom if you don't want to.
But before we have sex, I want you to make me.
He then assaults the girl with chat.
Whoa, that's fucking weird. Like, before you even have sex with this young girl, you want her to make you do the, he's saying he wants her to make him, I don't even know how to say it in a nice way. But yeah, is that what he was saying? What a gross person. Hold on, real quick. Let's just rewind that. Is he saying before we do sex? Watch that script right there. Oh, before we do sex, I want you to make me do a goo, like goo off. I'm trying to say it in a nice way. Do semen. Is that what that shit is? Before we do sex, I want to make you to make me do a cum, do a little cummer. Watch, that's what he says. That's weird.
Dell, posing as a 14-year-old, invites him in.
To a 14-year-old, by the way.
There really isn't a 14-year-old in the house. This man still may be committing a crime, according to sex crimes expert Ken Lanning.
The federal law makes it pretty clear there doesn't have to be an actual child there.
And as far as Steve is concerned, there's a real 14-year-old in this house. As for why he's here,
Dell.
After we read you part of his online chat,
that's Dell shouting.
Pretty clear.
You on the pill?
No, you wear condoms?
If you want me to, but I'm sterile.
Okay, then you don't have to wear a condom if you don't want to.
But before we have sex, I want you to make me.
And then he put a 3-letter word. A 3-letter word. I want you to make me C-U-M. Wow. So if you feel sorry for these people at all, here you go though. Let's rock and roll with it.
About oral and anal sex, and even asks a series of deeply personal questions like, when do you get your period? And another offensive question about her personal hygiene. Law enforcement has a name for this kind of guy, a potentially dangerous predator who goes from a chat room to a real-life meeting intent on an encounter with a child. They're called travelers.
Can I ask you guys a question? Okay, hold on. I'll let it play.
He starts to communicate online, and then he is going to travel to where the child is, or he's going to try to get the child to travel to where he is, also they can engage in actual sexual activity with the child.
But today, Steve won't have a chance for sex with a 14-year-old. Instead, he'll be meeting me. He seems to think I'm a police officer. I haven't told him yet I'm a television reporter, and at this point, he has no idea he's being videotaped.
I knew.
You knew what?
Exactly what's going on.
Just take your hands out of your pockets. Are you done? Put them up.
Okay, and that's crazy to me is that, okay, according to like the show, right? This is the first ever customer, the first ever predator in the whole of To Catch a Predator, right? Dangerous Web, right? Okay. Bethpage, Long Island, okay. This guy is the first guy on the episode, right? And he has the fucking excuse that I hate the most. He just happens to, right? Let's watch that again.
He seems to think I'm a police officer. I haven't told him yet I'm a television reporter, and at this point, he has no idea he's being videotaped.
I knew.
You knew what?
Exactly what's going on.
See, I hate that. I knew what it was. I knew what was going on. I knew what this was. That's what I thought. That's one of the things the guy says. That's what I thought. When he's talking to the decoy, and she's like, oh, let me get a thing real quick, a thing, sit down. And he's like, why don't you come out here? And then, like, Chris Hansen walks out, and he goes, that's what I thought. I knew what this was. I knew it was going to be a bust. That, to me, is my most hateful thing about the whole series that any of them ever say is, like, I knew. That, to me, like, is, like, the guiltiest thing you could say. You know, if you could imagine in your head that this was all going to go down that way and still go through with it and imagine the worst possible scenario of the outcome of what you're doing, you know what I mean? And it's all bad like that and you still decide to do it. First off, like, probably, like, yeah, you deserve to get got. But secondly, like, don't, like, yell it out loud like that's something to be proud of at the last moment. Like, yeah, I knew I was going to get caught. No big deal. I don't care. I'm caught. That doesn't make you cooler. That just makes you even stupider. If you knew what it was and you still did it, you're even stupider than the people that wanted to bang kids. Like, and you're just as evil because just in case you were gonna still bang a kid, by the way, just because you knew what it was, that just makes you worse. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's play it. Also, nobody that ever wears a bandana, okay, on their head has hair. Nobody who's ever wore a bandana in that style, like that, like on their head, like a pirate, like a bandana, has hair. Nobody there has hair. Even Tupac, we all just assume that Tupac had a full head of hair, but he might have been a bald ass fucking guy. And that's why he wore that hat like that. And you guys are imitating him out there with bandanas. Stop it. Stop it. Tupac might have been bald. Stop wearing bandanas. You know, if you're bald, get a wig. You know what I mean? Or science should figure that out. But anyway, this guy, no, you're not fooling anybody, buddy. And the fact that you say, I knew this was a sting, doesn't fucking exonerate you. Anyway, if you want to watch this again, if you just stepped in, To Catch a Predator, Long Island by Sal. Hold on, Sal. Boom, To Catch a Predator. To look at it without me talking about it. But anyway, let's continue on. Bless you guys' heart if you're still watching.
Just take your hands out of your pockets, man.
Look at him. Damn, I would have socked him if he threw his hands up like that. I mean, wham, he threw those right at
Clear
Chris.
that Steve thinks he was caught up in a police sting. He says he was just coming over to check it out.
So you were
Yeah, I
obviously
know.
suspicious in the beginning.
Of course I am. I'm always suspicious.
Always. Do you do this a lot?
No, this is the first time I've actually did show up to see what was going on.
And you expect me to believe that?
Yes, I do.
Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
And how would you feel if one of your children was 13 or 14 years old, that child was home alone, chatting with somebody on the internet who ultimately came over with no parent at home? How would you feel about that as a parent?
I'd be pretty pissed off.
You'll hear more from Steve later. Right now, there's another man walking down
shit.
our driveway. He's the one who turned on his webcam to put on a little.
Does he look?
section.
Is it me?
He's in our kitchen.
Or does he look like Evil
No,
Where's
this is the first
Waldo?
time I've
Hold on.
actually did show up to see
I'm
what was
gonna,
going
okay,
on.
I swear I'm gonna
And
be
you
quiet, but
expect me to believe that?
Yes, I do.
Do you have children?
yes, I
Yes, I
do.
do.
I'm gonna.
And how
I
would you
swear.
feel if one of your children
You better
was
believe
13
it.
or 14
Hold on.
years old, that child was home alone, chatting with somebody on the internet who ultimately came over with no parent at home? How would you feel about that as a parent?
I'd be pretty pissed off.
You'll hear more from Steve later. Right now,
Look at
there's
him.
another.
Doesn't he
man.
look like Where's Waldo, kinda? Hold on, let me look it up. Where's Waldo? Hold on, let's check it out. Doesn't he kind of dress like Where's Waldo? Hold on. Ah, heavens. You know, okay, look, yeah. Doesn't that kind of look like how he's dressed, this guy? You know what I mean? Watch, boom. He's kind of dressed like that, right? Okay, whatever. Here you go. I'm gonna play.
Man walking down our driveway. He's the one who turned on his webcam to put on a little sex show. Now he's in our kitchen. He's 33-year-old Musti, me for Magic, New York, and he's expecting to hook up with a 13-year-old virgin.
Just sit down at the counter for a minute and I'll be down in a second.
Just hours earlier, after exposing himself online, he tells the girl he wants oral sex.
That's a
before
cool
he
ass
takes her
beanie.
virginity.
If I didn't know better, I'll be like, damn, that fool for sure is in Cypress Hill. Like, I don't know him, I don't know where he's from or whatever, but he's in Cypress Hill, definitely, just based on the way he's dressed.
If that's not disgusting enough, he continues to titillate himself by asking intimate questions, like the size of her breasts, and other questions too disturbing for us to mention.
So you talk this way to all your friends on the internet?
Yes.
About all these sex acts and in this
Yes,
graphic way?
and everybody's talking like that, and they have a web site over there too.
So this is just a game to you?
Yes, it's a just game.
But is it a game when you send an obscene video?
Now it sounds like you exposed yourself on a webcam.
But I'm telling you.
Did you or did you not?
I have a webcam too, and the other people have a webcam too, and we're playing.
You're playing?
We see each other and we're playing.
Yeah, what game were you playing on the webcam?
It's up to you, I don't know.
Our undercover operation has only been up and running for 2 hours, and already 2 men who chatted graphically about sex online and then made a date have come into the house looking for a young girl home alone. Watch our hidden cameras. You're about to see a lot more. This 30-year-old man, screen name Dark Hero, showed up expecting a date with a 13-year-old girl. It turns out he has a history of mental illness with possible suicidal tendencies. So we've disguised his identity but included him in our report to illustrate how there's no telling what kind of unstable character might show up for a meeting with a minor. Listen as we read a little of what he said online to her just hours earlier.
I want to be your master so badly.
I've only been with one guy.
That's okay. I'll tell you exactly what to do. You'll be fine. Are you going to pose nude for me, sweetheart?
Maybe if you're really good.
I think that's Dell. I think that's Dell that read that original episode. I don't know. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe that's Dell. Anyway.
Stay on where?
At the counter.
Okay, where the light is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But instead of meeting his fantasy girl, I walk in.
You thought it was a good idea to come visit a 13-year-old girl for what reason? Just to hang out. Just a lonely guy, you know? I don't mean anybody any harm. Have you ever done this before? No.
You'll hear much more from Dark Hero later. So what kind of man seduces a minor and then shows up in person? Former FBI profiler Lanning says it's a man who can't control himself.
Once these fantasies become fueled by the discussions with the child, then in a sense the hook is in. This individual then is committed to this and then is drawn to trying to turn these fantasies that they've spent so much time into a reality.
Our little house in the suburbs has become the destination for a parade of potential predators.
Damn.
In the first 8 hours of our investigation, 8 men show up, one after the other, from early afternoon into the evening, none of them realizing their every move is being recorded. Each man made a date on the internet and believes a minor is home alone and open to the idea of sex. Remember this man, screen name Ed in NYC? He's 34-year-old Eddie, and when he shows up at the house, he tries something none of the others did. Before he'll come into the kitchen, he comes up with a scheme to
Why do you think he did that thing where he fluttered his arms in front of him? I get the, like, stomping your shoes on the rug thing, but why did he shake his front like that? Is that, like, pet hair? What's Ed and NYC's problem? Hold on, let's check it out.
8 hours of our investigation, 8 men show up, one after the other, from
not
early
featured,
afternoon
not featured.
into the evening.
There's a lot more
None
than
of
even
them
featured,
realizing
guys.
Their every move is being recorded.
Let's get the out
Each
footage.
man made
It's
a
hard to,
date on
you know,
the
I don't know if
internet
it's out
and
there.
believes a minor is home alone and open to the idea of sex. Remember this man, screen name Ed in NYC? He's 34-year-old Eddie, and when he shows up at the house, he tries something none of the others did. Before he'll come into the kitchen, he comes up with a scheme to insulate himself from possible criminal charges, and he tries to get the girl to play along.
Okay, listen, just say something today.
What do you want me to say?
And say, Rachel, you're 19 years old, right?
I'm not, though. You know I'm not.
I don't know that.
I told you I was 14. You saw it. You said back to me. What are you talking
No,
about?
no, no. Not as far as I know. As far as I know, you're 19 years old, right?
That's Dill.
Rachel?
Yelling, huh? That's Dill.
Can you read between the lines?
When I walk in, Eddie admits he was trying not to incriminate himself.
That was Dill.
My intentions are not anything, so I just want to protect myself, that's all.
But she told you on the internet she was...
That's the same thing John DePay says. Just to parallel it, if you want to, like, mash that together, straight up, back on the first episode, right? Chris Hansen standing at this exact angle, right? Kitchen fucking counter thing, right? Very first episode, right? He goes, I didn't have any intentions with nothing. Just like John DePay. I didn't have no intentions with nothing. Like all those years later, watch. When Chris confronts him, watch. I'll shut up. Here, let's play it.
Rachel? Can you read between the lines?
When I walk in, Eddie admits he was trying not to incriminate himself.
My intentions are not anything, so I just want to protect myself, that's all.
I see, that's the first thing John DePay said. I don't have no intentions. I don't have no intent. You know, that's a lot of them said that. I'm not doing nothing.
And then she was 14.
19, she went after that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's right.
On the internet?
Yes.
You want to stick with that story?
That's what I thought she wrote.
You want to see the transcript?
I'm sure you have it.
The fact that Eddie is so cunning doesn't surprise law enforcement experts.
Not only are they not stupid, but they're probably above average intelligent. They can be a wide variety of individuals, but a lot of them are well-educated individuals.
We'll get back to Eddie later. There are more men on the way. The second day of our investigation turns out to be just as busy as the first. 8 hours, 8 men. Some come looking not for girls, but for boys. This is 35-year-old Craig, screen name 34 going on 17. He's here to meet a 14-year-old boy.
Am I going to jail?
You're not going to jail.
I know,
That's a crazy screen name. 34 going on 17. That's a really, really, really weird screen name. Also, what does this say, guys? Laugh often, love much. I'm not gonna say like anything bad, right? I will. No, you know what? I'm gonna roast this kitchen a little bit. Check it out. For the time, and this is why you guys should not go with trends, okay? I'm not trying to fucking get up in you guys or be a jerk. Obviously, this person whose kitchen this is like a successful person. You know what I mean? But you got this big ass kitchen space like this that's all tight. And instead of making it look like this big ass space, you made it look like this little ass space. And you got some shit that says laugh often and love much. You made, and with this honeywood, whatever the fuck this shit is, you make everything look depressing. I'm just gonna say it that way. What's this even for? Look, okay, and straight up, I've lived in houses with this shit, okay? And I'm like, okay, are they hiding, like, some treasure up in this bullshit? Look where the ceiling is, guys, where my mouse is. And laugh off and love much, whatever, okay? What is inside the wall where it says laugh off and love much? Look, see how it's a square and the cabinets are hung on it? But look, the wall goes back to here, right? So this is hollow, right? Right here? So what's in there? Is there gold in there in somebody's house? Or should you just lift the motherfucking cabinets up, see how bigger cabinets? Like, what is this space? Why are you wasting space? It makes the ceilings look all cramped and weird. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for roasting, and their colors are shitty. But Chris is dressed the best Chris has ever been in this episode. Chris is dressed nice. Haircut's nice. I'm not talking shit. Actually, I like this light fixture. And, you know what I mean? But, I'm sorry. I just gotta roast fools when they do stupid shit with their, I don't know. Whatever. Don't do trends, guys. That's the message here. Don't do trends. Trends are stupid. Do what you think looks cool.
as you can tell, it wasn't something I really, I was just gonna hang out. I really wasn't gonna do anything, to be honest with you. We talked, I know I said things on there, but I've never done anything like that, and I was just bored.
He sure didn't seem bored earlier online when he tried to coax a teenager into the shower.
No, shower with me. I think I gotta shower me too, so let's shower together.
You know what I said?
No, I don't understand though. I mean, if you're the parent of a kid,
it's completely wrong. I know it is. Even just to even talk like that. I know. Believe me, I know that this is stupid.
So many men start showing up for the dates they made online, a kind of traffic jam develops.
Oh,
this
shit.
guy heads to the back
I think
door, looks
that I think that at some point during this investigation, Chris makes is like, I think you should go into the basement, and like makes this predator go into the basement because this other one is coming, and like they kind of like scurry them down into the basement to like, you know what I mean? Even though they're not cops or anything, they're at the first thing. I think that's this. I might be wrong, but at some point they make some guy go into the basement.
Hyde sees another man is already there and decides to make a run for it. But 20-year-old Esteban, known online as Skatey Pie, walks right into the kitchen and waits, although not for long. I asked him about his online chat with who he thought was a young girl.
Why don't you tell me exactly what you talked about?
About smoking, about sex.
About sex?
Yeah.
We cut short our interview because while we were talking to Esteban, yet another man is at our door. We asked Esteban to wait in the basement.
Yeah, this one.
In 2.5 days, 18 men walked down this driveway thinking they were going to meet a 12, 13, or 14-year-old home alone. All of them chatted online, often talking graphically about sex, spoke on the phone with a decoy, sent a photo, and made a date to meet at the house. But almost all the men said they weren't really here to have sex. And most shared yet another explanation.
I've never done anything like that.
How many times have you done this? Never before in my whole life. Do you do this often? No. How often do you do this sort of thing?
No, not very often at all.
Have you ever done this before?
No.
Do you do this often?
Never. I've never done this, and never will I do it again. I don't know what even came over me to come do this.
But perhaps the most
Nice.
creative excuses came from 23
Isn't
years
that it though? Like through the whole series, isn't that the main current? You know, I know a lot of you guys are big fans of this series, and I am as well. You know what I mean? And a lot of it is like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, you know what I mean? Like really there, and it's that these people like all think that they're like, oh, this is the only time I ever did it. I think that's the main thing they all said, that's in common. You know, to be real, this is the very first time. You know what I mean?
Year-old Mike, known online as MUXACB 2003. He traveled from another state to meet a 14-year-old. At first, Mike says he's at the wrong address.
This isn't 554?
Yeah, no, this is not 554.
Then he says someone was impersonating him online.
I have no idea what this is.
Either way, he says it's all a big mix-up.
Explain to me exactly how you ended up here. I mean, you just walked up the sidewalk and walked into this house because what? You thought it looked like a nice house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you understand why that story doesn't make sense?
After a few minutes, Mike decides to come clean.
Because I was thinking.
You weren't thinking?
No.
So all that stuff you told me earlier is a lie?
Yes.
You want to tell me the truth now?
Yes.
What happened?
He admits he came here hoping for sex with a 14-year-old.
Did you bring
Damn.
condoms today? You did?
Yeah.
Why is this guy not as famous as like, your Lee Greers and your Kennellys and stuff, you know? The Bethpage investigation is kind of like, overlooked. Because, there's not, in New York, New Jersey, this, that. They don't really keep the registry updated. So there's like, once the show happened, and this one, like, nobody was getting arrested yet, so it wasn't a crime. But some of these people, like, are sickos, and they should be noted. And I'm talking to myself as well. Like, these people have been getting away with it. Like, nobody's been roasting them. But they're the lesser-known people of TCaP should get roasted as well. Let's watch this guy again. I'm sorry, I'm backing it up. Boom.
Creative excuses came from 23-year-old Mike, known online as MUXACB 2003. He traveled from another state to meet a 14-year-old. At first, Mike says he's at the wrong address.
This isn't 554?
Yeah, no, this is not 554.
Then he says someone was impersonating him online.
I have no idea what this is.
Either way, he says it's all a big mix-up.
Explain to me exactly how you ended up here. I mean, you just walked up the sidewalk and walked into this house because what? You thought it looked like a nice house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you understand why that story doesn't make sense?
After a few minutes, Mike decides to come clean.
Because I was thinking.
You weren't thinking?
No.
So all that stuff you told me earlier is a lie?
Yes.
Do you want to tell me the truth now?
Yes.
What happened?
He admits he came here hoping for sex with a 14-year-old.
Did you bring condoms today? You did?
Yeah.
What is that? I'm sorry, I gotta pause this. Look. What is this? Is this follow my cursor right here for you guys at home. Look. Is this a frame picture of a fucking chicken? Is that what that is? Look how snazzy that frame is, where it's all like... But is that a chicken right here? Is reality fake? Look at this. Doesn't this look like a set? I'm sorry, look. But look at this guy's collar. Cheap ass shirt. Look at this fool's cheap ass shirt. Look at him. All bullshit with his pink ass skin. Look at him. He's all bleached like he got grown in a jar. He looks like he's never even been in the sun. Look at this guy. I'm white, you know what I mean? I'm not making fun of white people, but look at this shit. Look at this fucking blotchy ass skin. Look at him, he's all pink and white, like, he looks like he was grown inside the earth. Good hair, though, he's got good hair. Look at this fucking, is this a frame picture of a chicken? Is that what that is? And what is this, like some Cuba fucking, whatever, I'm gonna play this shit.
So what does that say about your intent?
blotchy ass neck.
It was stupid. I was immature.
Remember, so far, these men don't realize they're being videotaped, much less that they'll turn up on Dateline.
I am a correspondent for Dateline NBC.
But they're about to find out.
Oh, shit.
Returning to our story, you've seen how 18 men, after trolling through chat rooms looking for young teenagers, showed up for what they thought was going to be a date with a minor. They're about to find out their date is with Dateline. Here again, Chris Hansen.
You notice how I'm not roasting really Stone Phillips? Let me post that back. Look at Stone Phillips, guys. And this is what I'm talking about, but not following trends, okay? Look at Stone Phillips, alright? He's not really a trendy for any time or any other time. This is a pretty good little outfit, like even today, right? Like, that was pretty normal. Like, if I saw somebody wearing this outfit, I'd be like, honestly, I really like his tie even today. I like the colors. I think it looks cool with the shirt color he's wearing. He's got a pretty good jacket. It's not big shoulder pads. It's not all slim, like skinny jeans type of suit. You guys know what I'm talking about. That little craze that comes around where fools wear little skinny suits. Like the original Rolling Stones. You know what I mean? Like, fools wearing shit too small for them a little bit. Whatever. Stone Phillips not doing either one of those, tight suit or fucking big baggy suit. He's doing like a regular suit. You know, got a nice timeless haircut. Stone Phillips brings the dignity to this show. You know what I mean? And bless his heart, he doesn't get mentioned a lot. And Ann Curry too. Ann Curry, and with Chris Hansen, and they all deserve their credit. You know, and I think Stone Phillips here. You know what I mean? And Ann Curry, they should get their more props. Anyway, let's roll the episode.
And after trolling through chat rooms looking for young teenagers, showed up for what they thought was going to be a date with a minor. They're about to find out their date is with Dateline. Here again, Chris Hansen.
Just come here and sit at the counter.
In 2.5 days, most of these men likely broke state and federal laws by coming to this house to sexually violate a 12, 13, or 14-year-old.
What's going on? Nothing much. Yeah.
Some talked probably because they thought I was with law enforcement, although I never pretended to be a cop.
Well, you want to tell me why you really came over?
I really wanted to just take him to the movies.
But none had any idea our hidden cameras were going to expose them before a national audience. When we told them, most headed for the door, like Steve, a married man with children.
I'm Chris Hansen of Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on grown-ups.
Okay.
On the internet.
Go ahead. I am leaving.
All right, go ahead.
You know, and you don't have my permission to put me on tape either.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story.
You can't put me on TV.
But some wanted a chance to try to explain themselves. Remember 34-year-old Eddie? He was the one who thought he'd found a way to cover himself legally.
As far as I know, you're 19 years old, right?
When I confront him, he's ready with a story. He says he's a TV producer doing research.
Where are you a television producer?
I work independently right now.
Yeah. You know, it's ironic because I work in television too, with Dateline NBC.
Okay.
At first, this television producer appears a bit camera shy, but then he decides to open up.
I haven't done anything wrong at all. If you go into the transcripts, a time and time again, everything that was said.
Picture this.
Everything.
Picture this. You lying back, eyes straddle your chest. It sounds like you were looking to have a sexual experience with this girl, Rachel, who we were talking about on the internet. Yet I don't know what other conclusion you can draw.
You can search me for a condom. I don't have one on me. I wouldn't have sex without one.
Eddie thinks he's pretty smooth, and he's not quite finished. He's got yet another excuse why he's not really here for sex.
Besides, she's supposedly a virgin, so she's never had
His
sex,
face
so
bothers
she
me.
wouldn't want to be
Doesn't
a
his
girl.
face, like his facial expressions? Look at this fool Eddie. He looks sick.
I don't think so. You don't see that in there. And in fact, all you see is just little test scenarios.
For the record, it appears Eddie has worked as a TV producer.
I'm very interested in your story. I think it's a great thing that you're doing. I think it's something that you should certainly do more and more. And
look at his hand jammed up against his face right there. Like, I don't know, like, really that much about psychiatry, but, like, that doesn't look like he's telling me the truth. Like, if somebody was telling you, like, some whole thing, like, and that's how they're postured, guys, I'm not, like, an expert about, like, that kind of stuff, but, you know what I mean? Poop Frogg, he's telling you this. Do not trust somebody who's telling you, if somebody has this posture when they're telling you something, they are lying to you. I don't know what it is in my human character. Maybe somebody like that's doing that and is telling you the truth is trying to play you, where they want you to believe that, you know, and they are telling the truth. They're double, triple crossing or something. But look, this right here, the way this guy's looking at you, means that they are lying. Alright, here we go.
You wouldn't want to be the
Look at that. It looks like his arm's broken. It looks like his arm is broken. It looks like a mutated arm. Look at that. How the fuck is it even crossed? Look how fucking sunk in. He's protecting his heart. Look. That's his left side. Look. Look at his left shoulder. Slumped. Protecting his heart. Covering his fucking lower jaw. Because most people are right-handed and will go for that jaw. You know what I mean? Look at him. He knows. He knows he's got. Look at him. Shrinking into his shoulder so he won't get got. He's lucky that was an investigation. You know what I mean? This fool. Look at him. And that's right. Look at you, bad guy. Bad guy. First of the bad guys to catch Predator. Lesser known.
I think so. You don't see that in there. And in fact, all you see is just little test scenarios.
For the record, it appears Eddie has worked as a TV producer.
I'm very interested in your story. I think it's a great thing that you're doing. I think it's something that you should certainly do more and more and bag people left and right.
Thanks for the pat on the back, Eddie. Meanwhile, when it comes to excuses, law enforcement experts say they've heard them all.
It's not uncommon for these individuals, when caught dead to right, to try to minimize and downplay and to rationalize and justify and offer these excuses.
But when 30-year-old Dark Hero learns he was going to be part of our report, he tries a different approach. Remember, we've disguised him because of his history of mental illness and possible suicidal tendencies.
I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean anybody any harm.
Then he reveals something that, after investigation...
Hey, I'm not going to say like a bunch of shit, right? Because I don't really care about what happens with people, you know what I mean? Like, look, okay, I think that really Dark Hero for sure is nuts. And for sure exhibits all the signs of, like, being an actual crazy person. You know what I mean? And, bless his heart. And just, they should put him, lock him away somewhere nice. I don't know the solution of that. But, yeah, somebody that's preying on kids, even though they're crazy, yeah, we gotta pull them out of society, right? For sure. You know? And you can't fix that. And until you can prove you can fix that, you need to put them away from society and put them somewhere that's not torturing them, and just give them some nice little place where they can live and put puzzles together or play video games or whatever the fuck they have to do with these crazy psycho-y people, you know, because he's clearly dangerous. You know what I mean? No offense to this guy. That was the correct thing to, like, blur him in the original episode. Anyway, he ended up doxing himself later. I'm not going to talk about that, but straight up, like, that's what the danger is. And that, you know, just because somebody's like, oh, they cannot help it, that does not mean that they're not dangerous. Anyway, let's play it.
Appears to be true.
I'm a schizophrenic man. I'm supposed to see my doctor today.
All right, perhaps you should go see him.
I'm just getting my life in order. You're going to ruin my life.
You're the one who made the decision to come here.
But I didn't know I was going to wind up on television.
What would you have done with a 13-year-old girl?
I probably just would have said hello and how you doing, and maybe we would have taken a ride in the car, and that's it.
You were going to take her for a ride in the car?
Maybe. I just got out of a mental institution a few months ago. I'm just a guy looking for a girlfriend. That's it. You're going to take a guy who's looking for a girlfriend and put him on TV and say, oh, here's a pedophile. That's what you're going to do, right? Because I came to meet a 13-year-old. Even though I didn't...
Isn't that pretty much what he was going to do, though? Doesn't that describe pretty much To Catch a Predator? You can take him and you can put him on the thing and say, this is a pedophile. He's right. Hold on, watch.
Life.
You're the one who made the decision to come here.
But I didn't know I was going to wind up on television.
What would you have done with a 13-year-old girl?
I probably just would have said hello and how you doing, and maybe we would have taken a ride in the car, and that's it.
You were going to take her for a ride in the car?
Maybe. I just got out of a mental institution a few months ago. I'm just a guy looking for a girlfriend. That's it. You're going to take a guy who's looking for a girlfriend and put him on TV and say, oh, here's a pedophile. That's what you're going to do, right? Because I came to meet a 13-year-old, even though I didn't do anything. I think that's ridiculous. I think your story is a piece of shit.
It turns out Dark Hero has a long history of mental illness, and he has a history with law enforcement. In fact, his former girlfriend was granted an order of protection against him, an order which he violated. He later pleaded guilty to second-degree harassment and criminal contempt. Yet here he is, able to chat online, make a date, and show up for a possible sexual encounter with a 13-year-old. While virtually every man who made a...
Dang, was that before Ron Knight? Doubtful, like, straight up, he rolled up on Chris, you know what I mean? He rolled up on Chris, watch him.
I think your story is a piece of shit.
It turns out Dark Hero has a long history of mental illness.
This fool jumps up at Chris,
watch. Law enforcement. In fact, his former girlfriend was granted an order of protection.
I think Ron Knight was there though, even for the original one. I think Ron Knight runs him out of the thing.
Second-degree harassment and
watch, he
criminal
pops
contempt.
up, boom, what's up?
Here he
Chris
is,
like standing right
able to
there,
chat
and then he
online,
walks back.
make a
I
date,
think Ron Knight was
and show
there,
up
and Ron Knight was like, "Hey, you better get out of here, fella."
With a 13-year-old. While virtually every man who made a date to commit statutory rape showed up at our house, there was another who never made it in the door, although he came awfully close. He's a man in a position of trust. 24-year-old Ryan Hogan, screen name Ryan4686, a New York City firefighter.
Want to call me? He wants to talk.
After spending hours engaged in an obscene chat, sometimes from the firehouse, he makes a plan to come over to have sex with our 14-year-old. But as he drives by the house, he phones. He's having second thoughts and cancels, telling our decoy she's too young.
He went back to saying there was immoral and illegal and everything else.
But the real reason may have been something else entirely. He goes home, gets back online, and says he saw this. A police car coincidentally parked next door to our house. But even that doesn't stop him. He gets comfortable again. He turns on his webcam, exposes himself, and masturbates, all while wearing his New York City firefighter sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's obscene. It's obscene.
And then, unbelievably, he says he's going to come by the house again. He never makes it, so we go looking for him.
Hey, Ryan. Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. And we're doing a story about adults in chat rooms on the internet.
At first, firefighter Ryan says he thought the girl was 19. Then he decides to come clean.
The reality is this. You had a conversation with somebody who said they were 14 years old. It was a very explicit sexual conversation. You got in your car and you drove by the house where she said she was home alone with no parents.
Right.
That's all true, right?
Yes. But did I stop? No. Did I make the right? Did I?
You know why he always discontinues the chat and he's like, all of a sudden, like, it's wrong, it's immoral, it's this, it's that. It's because he did a little cummy. He J.O.'d the chat and he did himself a little cummy. And as soon as he did his little cummy, he was like, oh, it's wrong, it's bad, oh, no, I don't want to hurt you. Oh, it's wrong. But then he would get, like, worked up again, like, the next night. Oh, yeah, you want to be with a fireman? 9/11 happened. You remember that? You want to be with a fireman? Let's fudge. Let's fudge on the internet, but in real life. Oh, let's J.O. to each other. Oh, yeah, I'm being weird. I'm being gross. Oh, yeah. Oh. And then he's like, okay, I think it's on me. Let's not do that. That's bad. Look at him. He's a piece of shit. It's good that they called him out. Look Chris Hansen. Dressed all nice. Look at him.
In the end, make the right decision is what not to do? Yes, I did.
You said that you had every intent
I like his
house.
jacket though. I like this material. This is a good like field jacket liner. Like this is a cool one. A black field jacket liner. He looks weird in it, but a field jacket liner is a cool jacket. You know, and I got like an OD green one, but I've always wanted the black one. It's like costs more money than what I think would look cool. You know what I mean? It's like, you get what I'm saying, right? It's not like I cannot buy one. It's just more like, it's not worth that much money to me how cool I would feel in it. If I live somewhere colder, though, the black field jacket liner, okay, I guess I'm just trying to spare myself. I think he looks cool I think this jacket's cool, but he looks like a dickhead in it. But I like this jacket, and I'm trying to make an excuse for not having one. I have this in OD green, though. I have the same jacket, and it's actually a pretty respected and cool jacket. Look somebody up. It's called a field jacket liner. Look it up. It's a respected military jacket. It's some, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, whatever, dude. You're not putting your medals on that, but you guys get what I'm saying. That's some grunt shit right here. But whatever.
Except that you saw a marked police car parked next door.
I had driven before I saw the marked police car. I made the decision not to stop. I really did.
But what about his lewd performance on the webcam in front of someone he thought was 14?
And then afterwards, you turned on the webcam and transmitted this picture.
That was not supposed to be transmitted.
Of yourself exposing yourself.
That was not transmitted. For the record, I was talking to another person at the time. I did not intend for her to see that.
You didn't intend for her to see that?
No, sir, I did not. Somebody else was viewing that at the time.
But if you look at the firefighter's chat log, he asks our decoy first if she sees the picture, and then if she liked it.
Is this appropriate behavior for a New York City firefighter?
No, sir, it is not.
For any adult to have this kind of conversation with somebody who says they're a 14-year-old girl home alone?
No, sir, it is not.
Then what are you doing, Ryan?
I made a mistake at
Think about it. This was like 2005, 2006. You know, to be a New York firefighter is like a really prestigious job. Like, dang, he threw away his whole career. That's a really hard job to get. You know what I mean?
Time, I made the judgment call to correct that mistake.
Is there anything else you want to say about this?
Yeah, I think people got to use their heads. People should know better. I made a mistake.
So what happens now to all these men who were so clearly caught in the act? To start, all of them were exposed by Perverted Justice, the online watchdog group. All the men's photos, phone numbers, and chat logs were posted on its website. The firefighter was arrested and charged with using the internet to attempt to solicit a minor for sex and attempting to transmit obscene matter to a person under the age of 16. Hogan has pled not guilty. This man, who told us he was schizophrenic, was admitted to a psychiatric hospital. So how would you react if 18 strangers showed up in your neighborhood in just 2 days? Probably a lot like these parents.
Mr. Rachel, you're 19 years old, right?
Almost too angry for words.
19 years old?
I want you to say yes, I'm 19 years old.
Look at him. God bless him. Yup. That's right, everybody.
We assembled a group of parents who live just a matter of miles from our hidden camera house. They all told me they were aware that
I like how there's only one dad.
are out there, but
They couldn't have dads on there,
you
you know, because dads would be like, I would stomp on him and kick him on the face, da. They probably did have the dad's audience, but they just didn't use the footage. You know what I mean? Because the dads were all like, yeah, probably I would like, oh, I don't know, just like pull his eyeball out and just like stomp on his eyeball. You know, try to, for sure, pull it, at least his eyeball out and just like, yeah, I will want to stomp on his windpipe and this and that. So that they got a better answer out of the mums who were like, oh, I'd like to kill him. I'd like to kill him and I would like to want my husband to see this. You know, hey, bless these moms. You know, oh, bless everybody. Oh, this show, you know, because that's what it's about. It's like, there's always going to be creepos, you know, and we just got to keep up with them. But anyway, watch.
In their own backyard.
Personally, I'm totally shocked that many people responded, which just shows me that it's not something rare. It's not the 1 in a million guy out there. They're all over.
They're all over, and yet there is nothing to make them stand out in a crowd. everyday members of the community.
What frightens me more is that these guys are guys you might know in your life. That might be your neighbors, or you might socialize with these men and not know it.
Do you think that anything like this could happen to any of your children?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. They're out there. I do, because they're very inventive.
So inventive
That's
that
right, they're
kids might
inventive.
not even sense there's danger.
It's scary because I think sometimes kids think that, it's all a game and they're just, playing along, and then they don't realize how all of a sudden it becomes somebody at your back door.
I think it's very easy for children to give out information unwittingly.
But if seeing what these men did wasn't frightening enough for these parents, hearing what these middle school kids tell me they experience online may be more shocking.
Has anyone here had a stranger say anything you felt uncomfortable about that was inappropriate? Has anyone ever tried to lure you into going to an inappropriate website?
Yeah, they give you the link and say, come here to view my naked pictures.
And like most kids, they don't always tell their parents.
How many of you, after having been approached or having a scary experience in a chat room, have gone to their parents right away to tell them what happened? Nobody? Why not?
Because we're scared of what they'll say. Like, if we'll get in trouble or yell at me or ground me from not going online ever again.
There is a disconnect between parents and children here.
There's a huge disconnect.
Look at Chris. I'm going to say one thing. Hold on. Let's back that up. This is ahead of its time. Look at him. Look at Chris. He did get stuck on that auto-repeat shit of like, oh, it's an internet addiction, I think. Internet addiction is what combines all these people together. The internet addiction, right? Like, that's Chris later, right? But this was the first episode, and he's interviewing these kids. And, I'm not going to say that Poop Frogg was around the time of these kids or anything. But it just makes a sense to me, a lot of this. And this was like one of the most honest episodes. And if you really want to know what the show's about, this is important footage. Check it out. Saul's channel. So, it's his channel.
Why not?
Because we're scared of what they'll say. Like, if we'll get in trouble or yell at me or ground me from not going online ever again.
There is a disconnect between parents and children here.
Look at that time.
There's a huge disconnect.
Terry Schroeder, founder and CEO of iSafe, a nonprofit foundation that educates children across the country on internet safety, says parents and kids need to work as a team.
I do not encourage any parent after hearing this interview to say, I'm getting that computer out of here, because you will severely handicap your child educationally, socially.
Instead, Schroeder says parents need to educate themselves about online dangers and create open communication where a child feels safe talking about inappropriate situations online.
Take the parenting skills that you use in real life and apply them in cyberspace. It's very simple. If something is going on, talk to your child about it. If your child comes to you, listen to them.
Yes. In fact, Schroeder confirms what these...
Damn! Look at that. Hold on, guys.
And
I
children.
want to show you something.
There's a huge disconnect.
Oh, heavens.
Terry
Okay.
Schroeder, founder and CEO of...
Look, she's talking. She's like, oh, check it out. If they're in cyberspace, they got a whole thing in cyberspace. But I want to point out something. Look, she's writing stuff down with her little highlighter and shit, right? Look at her. Watch this computer real quick. When she's like, check it out. You need to monitor your children. I know what's up. I'm on the peak of technology. Look at this book I wrote about keeping on track of your kids. Watch this. She's like, yeah. Okay, mark that. Go on the computer. Mark all this shit. My name's whatever. Look at me. Watch this. Watch this. I'm ready. I'm the boss. I know about technology. Watch ass for your kids. Check it out. Bam. And then Chris Hansen right here, right? Look at this. Look at this. Okay, I'm not even going to roast the elephant in the room real quick. Okay, but this should probably be one of the funnier Chris Hansen images that exists. But look, okay, let's look at this group of kids, okay. Nothing wrong with this group of kids, 2001. 2003, whatever, group of kids, middle schoolers, you know, bless these kids. Chris Hansen rocking the shit, being a journalist. But look at this computer. It was around this time that the computer basically got a whole lot smaller real quick, and this was like right on the bridge of the time period. Look at him. That's how you could tell this shit was like, that's how old, if you're into TCaP, just recognize that's how old TCaP is. It's at least as old as this whole ass computer. Anyway, let's roll.
If they go tell their parents may not believe them, and then now they're going to get in trouble. And 9 times out of 10, what we tell the kids and what we tell the parents, it's usually not the kid's fault. They're innocent in this.
Kid is a victim of a crime.
Correct.
Basically. A sex crime committed
Can I also point something else out that I think is kind of cool? Okay, you got this cop, right? Let's talk about this cop. She's got red hair, nicely red. It's not bad. I don't know why she combed it that way. It's not how I would comb hair like that if I was her age. But a nice color. And a nice colored shirt, right? Watch this. Watch this. Look at this red color. Imprint this on you guys' heads. And purple. Nice and purple. This color purple, right? And this color red. This color purple. And this color green. This is a really good job. Watch this. Watch this. Purple, red. Watch this.
Skills that you use in real life and apply them in cyberspace. It's very simple. If something is going on, talk to your child about it. If your child comes to you, listen to them.
Yes. In fact, Schroeder confirms what these kids told us. Most children are afraid to tell their parents about scary encounters online.
If they go tell their parents may not believe them, and then now they're going to get
purple and red.
And 9 times
Watch,
out of 10,
purple, red.
what we tell the kids and what we tell the parents, it's usually not the kid's fault. They're innocent in this. They're
look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Did they coordinate this? Same color purple right here. Okay. As her jacket. And the red of her hair mimicked by his tie color. Okay. This is like a fucking coordinated hit. And now what do we believe, guys? I don't know. I'm just joking. I'm being conspiratorial, but they for sure set up this shot in the lab. Like his fucking team for sure was like, and I think that's a nice looking suit. What Chris Hansen's wearing right there, that's kind of timeless. Like you could get away with that. That's a cool suit. A little brave, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But yeah, man, not too bad, Chris Hansen. I like Chris Hansen's fashion sense. And I like this lady. But anyway, let's rock and roll with the original Bethpage, Long Island Dangerous Web episode.
Victim of a crime.
Correct.
Basically. A sex crime committed by predators who know exactly which of the kids' buttons to push.
It may be attention and affection. For another child, it may be gifts. For a lot of teenagers, it's romance. Just somebody who will give you this romance, pay attention to you, tell you how pretty you are, how nice you are, or whatever it is.
There's one guy right there coming right to the door.
These kids thought they were pretty hip to dangerous strangers online, but they weren't such know-it-alls. Once, with their parents' permission, I showed them the results of our investigation.
So this is just a game? Yes, it's just a game.
That was all like real? That all actually
totally
happened?
I don't like it.
Creepy.
Pathetic.
Freaky.
Disgusting.
Scary.
Weird.
Reality. Wrong.
Show your kids that you do care enough and that they will not be penalized if something happens. And also, be willing to learn from your kids. You may learn a lot from them as it pertains to technology.
Based upon the fact that we all have computers in our homes, do we then have the responsibility of almost being a spy or a cop to see what the kids are doing on the computer?
I've always done that.
But if parents think they can completely protect their kids by installing standard software or setting ground rules, think again.
We probably wasted benzos and stuff like that.
So you know how to get around that stuff?
Yeah.
Have you ever done it yourself?
Yeah.
Even though your parents have said don't do that?
Rules are made to be broken.
Meet 11-year-old Laomi Wright. She's become so good at getting around the rules, her mother is ready to throw out the computer.
Let's put it this way, she's not using the computer anymore.
You thought you were being a responsible parent.
Right.
And doing just about everything you could to make sure your daughter was safe on the internet.
Right. Plus, she gave me her word. She wouldn't talk to people that she didn't know, so.
In spite of all that, your daughter was still talking to a stranger via instant messaging.
Right. It's pretty scary, I can tell you that.
To help solve Michelle's problem, we enlisted the help of Detective Mike Sullivan, author of Safety Monitor, How to Protect Your Kids Online. The first thing
Dang, was that like a book they were trying to hawk? Hold on. The original TCaP Predator, was that like a book that they were like connected? You think there was like contracts signed about that? What's this book? They hyped up that book. It's not, you know, they thought that people were gonna buy that. Nobody ever bought that. Watch.
Disgusting. Scary. Weird. Reality. Wrong.
Show your kids that you do care enough and that they will not be penalized if something happens. And also,
with the purple and the red, whatever, dude.
Kids. You may learn a lot
that
from
purple and red shit. Everybody knows what that's
Based
about.
upon the fact that we all have computers in our homes, do we then have the responsibility of almost being a spy or a cop to see what the kids are doing on the computer?
I've always done that.
But if parents think they can completely protect their kids by installing standard software or setting ground rules, think again.
We found ways to bend those rules and stuff like that.
So you know how to get around that stuff?
Yeah.
Have you ever done it yourself?
Yeah.
Even though your parents have said don't do that?
Rules are made to be broken.
Meet 11-year-old Laomi Wright. She's become so good at getting around the rules, her mother is ready to throw out the computer.
Let's put it this way, she's not using the computer anymore.
You thought you were being a responsible parent.
Right.
And doing just about everything you could to make sure your daughter was safe on the internet.
Right. Plus, she gave me her word. She wouldn't talk to people that she didn't know, so.
In spite of all that, your daughter was still talking to a stranger via instant messaging.
Right. It's pretty scary, I can tell you that.
To help solve Michelle's problem, we enlisted the help of Detective Mike Sullivan, author of Safety Monitor, How to Protect Your Kids Online. The first thing he noticed, Michelle had the computer in the basement, an out-of-the-way place where a child can operate unsupervised.
Put it in a public room, you know, right off the kitchen, dining room. You know, basically as you're going about your normal house chores, you're making dinner, you can look over and see the screen and check on what your child's doing.
Next, Detective Sullivan suggested setting up layers of defense, starting with internet service providers like MSN, Earthlink, or AOL, which all provide some type of parental control. Michelle has AOL, and although she had set up the controls, she wasn't using them correctly. AOL has recently updated its protective controls, making it tougher for kids to outsmart.
Damn, everybody get AOL. Let's watch my video. Get it?
And then they're gonna monitor
Yahoo and AOL have the best Earthlink shit.
Next, our expert downloads WatchRite software that will allow Michelle to read all of Laomi's instant messages and chat room conversations.
So you can keep an eye on what she's doing, even if she changes her password on you. This program's still gonna read it and let you see what she's been doing online.
If reading all her daughter's online messages seems too intrusive or time-consuming, the detective has another suggestion. Filtering software that stops Laomi from sending out personal information.
Hey guys, hold on a second. We're not hawking for anybody or hawking their rep and their shit, but look at this, guys. Cyber Sentinel 3.0. Everybody at home, Google, put it on the Google or the Yahoo or the Ask Jeeves. Cyber Sentinel 3.0. The only defense against pornography and sexual predators. Everybody's holding hands on the bullshit. It's worldwide shit. Cyber shit. Look at this. This is real. It's a real thing. Anyway, later. Here, check it out.
Her home address or phone number. The software would also detect a predator trying to make contact with Laomi, and then automatically send Michelle an email to warn her.
So if your daughter's at home and something goes wrong, the software, Cyber Sentinel, is going to send you a message at work saying, you know, you might want to call home. And it will actually tell you who the user online was, what was the inappropriate statement. So if she said some naughty words, or someone said something of a predatory nature to her, you're actually going to see it in the mail.
And our expert has one more suggestion for Michelle. Software that will record Laomi's every move on the computer without her daughter knowing it.
So the program is like a VCR, showing you, hey, wait a second, this is what my child was doing online.
That's great. Look at that.
Like a VCR.
Come in and say, wait a second. They tried to sneak a program by you, but you can still check them out.
Our expert says each program is very user-friendly and costs about $40. And it's clear both Michelle and...
You know what's scary about this freaking episode is like, remember when computers kind of looked like that and shit? Like when this wasn't, you know what I mean? This was like when I was a kid, like that's how computers looked, you know what I mean? It's like this episode is kind of suggesting that they have like this solution, and like everybody at home is looking at this and going like, oh man, there's so many ways around all of it, and it's always the same story over and over, like generation after generation, you know? But look at them acting like they have the solution right here.
And the detective think it's worth it.
There's no silver bullet that's going to take care of everything. What you can get to is a state of peace of mind as a parent, that I've done everything I can do to protect my child while they're on the computer in my house.
I guess all the protective software in the world will not substitute for a good relationship between a parent and child.
No, an active, involved parent is more than any match for any predator that's out there right now.
Now that our expert has installed and set up tough protective measures, Michelle is ready to let Naomi back on the computer.
Have you learned your lesson?
Yes.
That's Dateline for now. Join all of us.
Was that it? Have you learned your lesson? Oh, yeah, for sure. Ooh. Oh, shit, we rewound it way too far. We rewound it way too far. Oh, sorry.
The software in the world will not substitute for a good relationship between a parent and child.
No, an active, involved parent is more than any match for any predator that's out there right now.
Now that our expert has installed and set up tough protective measures, Michelle is ready to let Naomi back on the computer.
Have you learned your lesson?
Yes.
That's Dateline for now. Join all of us at NBC News next time for another edition of Dateline. I'm Stone Phillips. Good night.
Damn. That's tight that she learned her whole lesson, you know, from that just Chris Hansen. You know, Chris Hansen was the guy that made her remember her whole lesson. But anyway, I guess that's the end of it, you know. The end of the Bethpage Long Island thing, the original. You know, and let me know, you guys, in the comments. Anything you guys got to say about the original episode, the original Chris Hansen. You know, it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff, everybody. Have a good night.